I literally just got back from doing my redo of the Masters workout 22.2. I had a huge improvement. I dropped over 2 minutes in my part A from my previous attempt and also added more kilos. I hope you guys can get something out of it and also improve your own performance from this, which is why I'm sharing. So you can see from this, I definitely get onto the bar a lot quicker than I did in the previous attempt. That was because I had already scheduled where I was going to place my hands on the knurling. I already knew exactly what I had to do. So set up the bar correctly, know where you're going to place your hands. That's your first step to success. So the next thing to consider is definitely the Russian swings, and setting up for this is crucial. As you only have to swing to just above the chin height, you don't want to swing it any higher than you need to. Before you start, find a marker on the ground. I used the line in the top, the floor tile. Set it up so when you swing, you can meet the rig at a certain point. That way you know every time when you swing, you're only going to swing it to the right height. You don't have to swing it any higher, not any lower. You run a direct line from your eyesight to the rig, and that will get you to that height every time. My next piece of advice would definitely be to take your time between exercises. You can see I took my time on this one, refreshened up, and ended up only a few seconds slower after the end of the wall balls than I was on my first round. Do this to save it on later down the track. Unless you're at the elite level, you do not have to rush between movements. And you can see here that in my first attempt, I only actually finished 3 reps quicker, but the end result is I'm far more fatigued and I pay the price later on down the track. The next decision that I did make that obviously paid off was lowering the weight that I'm doing for the 5RM attempt. In the first round I went 80 kilos, this time 70. Bear in mind, by the end of the workout, I still end up lifting more kilos. So just because I reduced on the first one doesn't mean it didn't affect. Doesn't mean that it ruined my whole workout. So play it smart. I advise going on the side of caution when you select that 5RM, particularly if it's your first attempt. I'm not going to make you watch all of the little bits, so just so you know, I will skip forward and fast forward time intermittently. Your next strategy is definitely when to start the 5RM in that rest period between your part A and your next round. I would suggest finding the end of your part A and the 5-minute mark, finding a midpoint between those marks. So if you finish the part A in 2 minutes, then you would probably go halfway between 2 minutes and 5 minutes. At the 3.5 minute, I'm going to start my 5RM. That way you're going to have enough give either side to recover. The next thing worth discussing is the temperature. You want to make yourself as cool as possible. I went without the shirt. I think that really helped me. But I also, on top of that, I had fans blasting on me. So the cooler you can make yourself, that'll also be another influencing factor. Not only do you sweat all over the bar, making things harder to hold on to that wall ball, but it affects you physiologically. So times wise, I still finished quicker in my first attempt, but only by a few seconds. And you can see that I'm really starting to hurt at this point, and this is definitely the tipping point of the workout. After this point in my first attempt, I fell apart. Right now in the second attempt, I'm hurting, but I'm okay. Once again, fast forwarding so we can get to my next round splits. So you can clearly see that in that third round I've just fallen apart. All strategies gone out the window. I can barely breathe. Took off the shirt, which I should have taken off before I even started the workout. It didn't go well. I was breaking things up And that's because of a failed strategy early on. Don't make that same mistake. So look, I nearly dropped 50 seconds in that round from my previous attempt. So this is where I start really making the inroads on my previous attempt. Likewise, you'll also see that I went from 60 kilos, because I just fell apart in the first attempt, to 70 kilos. So just maintaining that consistency with my kilos in the 5RM paid dividends. Let's fast forward again and see how this concludes. Coming into the final round now, I wanted to bring up a final point about timing with regards to the 5RM. Before you start your final 5RM, make sure you give yourself every second of recovery possible. You don't have to do, like what I said earlier, find the halfway point. You've got nothing to go after this. So wait, don't start before the 4-minute mark. If you finish the first round in 2 minutes, sit around for 2 minutes and recover. Walk around, rest, lower that heart rate. You're going to do a heap better in your end result. If I can also offer one final suggestion, try and finish that last round with the 5RM as your heaviest. This is the time when you can try and get that sneaky, even if it's just 1 kilo. That's what I did. I just chucked an extra 1 kilo onto what I was repping out. It's going to make a big difference on that scoreboard for you. So going through my final result, you can clearly see that I've beaten myself by well over 2 minutes. It's not far off 2.5 minutes, so it's an extraordinary improvement, which is why I hope that you can take some of these pointers on board for your own effort. That cheeky little 1 kilo, you know, there's probably a lot of people that are going to sit on that 280 because it's a nice even mark. There's probably a lot of people that are going to go 70 kilos every round. Just by putting that 1 kilo on, you're going to jump up those rankings. So do that in your own performance. I hope you guys got something out of that video. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe. It will help my channel. I'm trying to get it going before the open. And if you've got any other pointers that you'd like to offer me, or if you think anybody else would like a suggestion that I might have missed, please include it into the comment section. Thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.